Hey fam, this is Jules from IndieFaith Podcast and we are back. This is episode 30. Due to our 1 month hiatus, we had so many stories that we wanted to cover in the main topic. So the episode ended up being a bit longer than usual. We decided to split the episode in two and we'll be releasing weekly. Hope you enjoy. Welcome back to IndieFaith Podcast. You're here with Jules and Mary, and we are on episode 30.
Happy 1 year.
30. Yeah, happy 1 year. It feels so weird to be on this.
Yeah.
And like not seeing you face to face.
And it's our first time, so I'm just like leading up to this. Like the behind the scenes, if only people could see what you've gone through my past.
I know. Yeah, if only people can see my lack of technical skills.
Hey, I am not judging because I wouldn't know half the stuff you're doing. I'd be like, yeah, can we just wait till after lockdown?
How are you anyway?
I'm good, cuz I'm good. It's just weird. It's really weird because we're used to doing this physically and seeing each other and smoking together and having coffees and talking a whole bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
So it's a bit funny, but I think because I've been FaceTiming a lot of my family and friends, I'm getting used to seeing people on the screen.
Yeah, true.
How you go?
I'm good. So for for those that are listening, like we are using riverside.fm, so it's like Zoom.
Yeah.
And yeah, we're not in the same room and it sucks. Yeah. But we are in lockdown because of the COVID cases here in New South Wales. Yeah. And like, you know what? Like, I don't know if it's progress for me, like, you know, how last year when we had the lockdown, I was loving it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it just brought out my creative side and that.
Yeah.
But I think because I've been working a lot on myself, that like, you know, overcoming a lot of the what do you call it? Antisocial.
Yeah.
That sort of, you know, introverted aspects of me. Like because I've been working on that, and so this lockdown, I'm like, I'm not liking it. Yeah, so I'm not. I miss my family. That's the main thing. Yeah, it's just crazy times.
It was like when because you said last year you loved it, and I said I hated it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I still hate it.
I know.
Because I'm such an introvert, so I need to see people. I need to socialize. I need to like interact with people like one-on-one or like in groups or crowds. So, yeah.
How are you handling it this time? Because last time you were like talking to birds and
I just knows it again. I'm handling it a bit better now, where I'm learning to love being on my own.
Yeah.
But I'm like I said, I've also been having a lot of FaceTime sessions with my workmates, my colleagues, my friends, my siblings. I tend to FaceTime my siblings a lot too, so that helps. So it's not as bad.
Yeah.
But it's not the same.
I know, eh? Can you imagine, like, everyone in a few months, we're all going to have, like, big arm, like, muscles on one arm just from holding our phones?
That's why I gave up on the phone. I'm using my laptop now. I let it sit there and I'm like, okay, no more phones.
I know. I'm lucky I got those, you know, the phone stand that we use to record? Yeah. I carry that with me everywhere.
You just set it down and you're like,
yeah.
Good work, man.
But yeah. Oh gosh. So it's been a year. So we're gonna do things a bit differently. It's already pretty different now. But we're not gonna do our usual icebreakers because we missed our date for our 1 year anniversary. We're gonna use that as our icebreaker and do a bit of a, you know, sort of reflection on the year that that was with IndieFaith Podcast.
Yeah.
So yeah. The first question: how did you feel recording our first episode?
So I wrote some notes down. Basically, I was just so nervous. Our first episode, I think I prolonged our coffee and smoking session at the start when I first arrived at your house. So I would like not record straight away.
Yeah.
It was to avoid it somehow. Because I was just so nervous, and you were so kicked back and chilled, and you were like reassuring me that everything was going to be fine. We were going to be okay. Like, it's normal to be nervous, but I think on my very first episode, I still remember how nervous I was because I kept saying, I'm really nervous. Like, and then we'd like have a coffee, and then I'd sit there and I'm like, oh, I'll just have another coffee.
I know, eh? And it's funny because I had just stupidly assumed that because you're so you're such an extrovert,
Yeah.
that I thought, well, this is like in your lane. This is,
Yeah.
conversations, we're talking and that. I didn't ever think you were going to be nervous about it.
Yeah.
But then when
to think that, I think it was just because you're right. Even I thought as an extrovert, I wouldn't be that nervous.
Yeah.
I was still makwa.
I know, when I saw it, I was like, oh shit.
And then you were like, be patient, because I think you were like, are you going to be here all day?
No, I was more like, when I seen that you were nervous, I was like, oh shit. Like, I was kind of relying on your... on you to be,
because
so because that because I had to, like, because it's your first time, like, for me, I was nervous as shit. But I didn't want to show that I was nervous, because then it'll make you more nervous.
I could not tell that you were nervous at all, because you hit it so well. And now I know it was for me, so thank you, Kaz.
So good. But yeah, I wasn't because I did first steps before IndieFaith.
Yeah.
I wasn't nervous talking. I was more nervous running it, because Rob did the running. Like, he ran the episodes for first steps.
Mm-hmm.
So it was my first time as well.
Yeah.
Like, leading it, and yeah, it was like, yeah. I was joining you with those cigarettes as well.
Yeah, really were. I remember we were out there for hours, and I think even Rob was inside like, are these girls gonna start or?
I know, way. Yeah. What were your highlights?
Oh, to be honest, my highlights were all the ones that we had guests.
I have the same answer as well.
Yeah. So one of my favorite ones has to be with Weaver, the cousin.
Oh yeah.
Polly's in film, because like I said, it was our first time having a guest, and it was like an introduction into, wow, I really want to do more of this.
Yeah,
like, I love our episodes, just us two. Like, I love it. And this just brought a whole different sort of take on what we wanted to do.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure that episode is still our most viewed episode.
Yeah. Nah, that one hit.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it was funny because Weave was also like very nervous as well. So it was like being on the other end of that, trying to be like, brave for him. Yeah.
Because he was really nervous, and then me and you were trying to be all like, you got this, Kaz, don't it'll be okay.
It's okay if you hear yourself breathing on the mic.
Because I think he would try and move away from the mic. And I was like, don't worry about it, we can hear everything. And the one with Ade and his spiritual, like, he graced us with his spiritual, like, nature and everything. And then it's sad because our last episode was with Mihaka and James. Mm-hmm. And I that was one of my highlights. And then Christmas. Our Christmas episode is still one of my favorites.
Oh yeah, that was fun.
It was the same gift for me.
I would have to say the same as well. Like having all the guests. Yeah. And I think that we did a lot of growing as well when we had guests. Yeah. As podcasters. But yeah, I had so much fun meeting new people as well. Yeah. Like Ade, you knew. Yeah. But like with me, I remember I was so nervous to the lead up because that was our first guest that I didn't know. Yeah. And and it was, but then afterwards it was just like just getting to know him and that, and it was just it just connected straight away. It was cool. Like I love that our guests were like so easy to connect with, or like, you know, they were just so beautiful. They were beautiful people, and they were definitely highlights.
And it brought you out of your shell heaps. Like way, like you're a completely different person than you were like at the beginning.
Well, talking about that, what were our learnings?
Let me just find my notes. Okay, my learnings were, okay, so you know how in the start, one of my big things that I would talk to about was I was really big on like worrying about what people would think. Specifically, admittedly, our families. I was really like, at the start I was like, oh, what if I offend them? What if I piss them off? What if I hurt someone's feelings? That was, for me, I learned to not care, but not let it affect what it is we're trying to do. Because I was really worried about it. And then you would tell me all the time, like, not to like let it get to me, not to like think about other people's opinions and just focus on what we're trying to do. That was a massive learning point for me. And I think another thing was that, you know how us as Pacifica people, one of my massive learning points throughout this whole year is that we do not have to settle. We just don't have to. Like, I think in our minds, it's engraved in us that we can just do this, like just settle. Like it's like almost saying you've got no potential. You can't pursue more. So just settle. And I think that for me, it taught me a lot about like, nah, I can do more. I want to be more. I want to chase more. So those were massive learning points for me this year. What about you, Kaz?
Well, with learnings from the podcast, like all the research we did for our episodes, like with each topic, we do a lot of research behind the scenes, and so that we don't
do a lot of research.
And just so that we don't sort of come off like we don't know what we're talking about. So I learned a lot while doing those researches, and what I've noticed, a lot of our problems stem from, as Pacifica people, is from colonization. So I learned a lot from that, and I've got that on the list as a topic for the coming, for the future. Once I do more research.
You do a lot of research. You taught me to do research. That aspect of it, I learned heaps, but I'll talk more about it in our episode. But the other thing I learned was Maori history and spirituality as well with Are and their like strong connection to the land. I learned Pavlova and not Lamington was first made in New Zealand. That was a highlight. I didn't even like Lamington.
Every time I watch that back, I'm just like, shit, what an idiot.
I laugh just as hard when I watch that like little episode, because I'm just like,
but yeah, I learned that. And then with episode with Mihaka and James, like just the the awareness of the hardships and struggles that they our gay community go through. That opened my eyes to a lot of that aspect of their lives. And also like with podcasting, my interview skills.
They have massively improved. Like, you were already really good at the beginning.
No, I was terrible. Like, I had, I was terrible. Because when I was watching back, you know, watching our old episodes back, so the interview with Ade, starting off with Weaver.
Yeah.
And so I wasn't like, there were a lot of things that was like, you know, I think because I knew Weaver, so it was like a lot easier.
Yeah.
But then with Ade, I wish I had been more on board, like not on board, but I wish. Yeah, I wish I had like sort of. I didn't have any interview style with Ade, so
Yeah.
I wish I had that so that we could have got more out of that episode. But he did like he was so good that I really didn't need to. To have like an interview style. He just like ran with it, so that made it so much easier. But then with Mihak and James, I like really researched like what kind of interview styles like to do and all of that. So that helped with a lot with also like, you know, my confidence as well with interviewing guests. So I learned, that was a big learning for me this year. So this one I just added this morning, just randomly hit me. But what were some of the feedback that like you received
throughout the year?
Yeah,
I got a lot of okay, I'm going to be completely honest. I got some feedback that I was really grateful for.
Yeah.
And some not so not nice, but just like I didn't ask.
Yeah.
So some of the feedback I would get in that aspect was just you know, why are you doing this? Like, what's it gonna even do? Like, you're not even gonna like blow up. Like, just things that
Wow.
Yeah, so things, and it was from and the shocking thing was it was from friends, and I think they weren't saying it to be disrespectful.
Yeah.
But they were asking in the sense of like, what is the purpose of this podcast that you're doing?
Okay, so if it doesn't generate money, like, why are you doing it?
Yeah, and I think that in itself spoke volumes to me, because I'm just like, well, first of all, what are you doing? Are you a millionaire now? Show me your Ferrari, and then and then
do you like your job? Yeah, exactly. Is that your job?
So, but I think people are just, I don't know if it was like the whole COVID and the whole lockdown, and it's contributed to, because people have changed, obviously, during this lockdown. They're very negative and depressed, and like people are going through like different mental stuff. So I don't know if that contributed, but they would say that's the type of stuff. And I think like you taught me, this year we learned a lot about not giving a crap about what other people think, regardless of whether, like, the positive stuff we love, but the negative stuff that shouldn't impact us. That's what I've learned. Like before, you know, I would get really angry and
and want to find their address.
Flash some tires or something. But I've learned restraint. I've learned that I can just take it on board and not let it get to me. And if anything, we're winning anyway because we're getting a reaction. So that was the negative stuff. The positive feedback I got, I couldn't believe it. I would go into work, and older Balangi men would come up to me. My colleagues would come up to me and be like, "Hey, I watched your episode. I didn't know about," like, they loved our episode with the what's the events? You know,
poly events.
Yes,
functions and events.
Yes, functions and events. They could not stop laughing. They were like, "Hey, we have island friends who actually do that. They come and, like, you know, the little appetizers that they have." And true. Will say something, and like they say it in a hee hee ha ha way, but you know, we as Pacific people would know that it's code for where's the food. So I was really giddy. I was shocked that he even watched it, because he's an older Balangi man, like you know, mid-40s. Didn't even know he knew. Instead, he saw my Facebook post where I keep posting about our YouTube channel so that they can go onto it and watch it.
Yeah.
He's actually watched quite a few, so I got a lot of people from work.
Geez, shout out to you guys.
I know. I was
Thank you for listening. Yeah.
Because that's another thing we learned this year as well is some of our family and friends don't even watch or listen to our podcast.
Yeah.
Which is fine. It is what it is. But I was still really surprised that people I work with were not even like, you know, family or blood related or whatever, and they took the time to actually want to watch it. So I was like,
yeah. Yeah, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah, with me, I think that's awesome. Like you got the more in-person feedback.
Yeah.
Yeah. Whereas I'm more seeing the feedback through our social media pages.
Yeah, and you've got a handle on that. Like, I always appreciate you sending me like the feedback.
Yeah. And then they've been pretty much mostly good feedback. Like a lot of them I did like, and I think that's what amps me up to keep doing this, is because a lot of them, they hear our episode, but then their feedback isn't feedback on us. It's more like they're just sharing their experiences relating to that topic that we talked about. And it really sort of, it's amazing to hear other people's experiences as well.
Yeah.
With, you know, the topics that we're talking about. Yeah, some of them are not even like Samoan. Some of them are not even islanders as well. But yeah, it's really awesome. Like, I really appreciate it. I had something, you know, I just lost it.
Is it regarding the feedback? Because I don't know if you want to bring up the negative feedback that you got.
Oh,
to be honest, because I'll let you talk about it and then I'll say what I have to say.
Yeah. So recently I just put up a post, a short. Actually, I was just trying it out on YouTube. It's a new thing where you put shorts. It's like TikTok but shorter. Yeah. It's 15 seconds. Anyway, I did a little mini clip on dawn raids, and then it didn't come up as a comment, but I got a notification that morning and it said, "Oh my gosh, she is so fat. Like, how strong is that chair?" or something like that. But that came up on my notifications. It's just like, and to be honest, straight away I just laughed. Like, I just laughed. It didn't even bother me that like it didn't even sink in, to be honest. And then anyway, as the day went on, and I was just telling everyone around me about it. Yeah. And they were getting heated.
Yeah, I was really heated.
But... yeah, like everyone else got heated, but I didn't. Yeah, but I tried to click on the comment, but for some reason I can't access it. Yeah. But, yeah. And then it came up as my notification, and I wasn't gonna do anything about it. I was just gonna leave it, but then I was talking to Weaver, and then like we were just like, you know, thinking, well, imagine if it was someone else that, you know, they said it to, and you know, imagine they couldn't handle it the way that I did. And it just got me thinking, like, I think, like, it depends on the person that, you know, you get the feedback, you know, who the feedback is to. Yeah. And, like, how they handle it, because you're always going to get those kind of feedbacks. But, yeah, so I was like, so I had to put up a post about, you know, knowing your, knowing your self-worth and, you know that, like, you'll never, like, you can't avoid it. Yeah. You're going to have people, like, say something about your looks or say something about your life or whatever. Like, you're just going to get it. It's part of life. Yeah. But how you handle it, that's on you, you know. Yeah. Whether you want to be triggered by it or not, like, that's on you with it. Like, yeah. So for me, I didn't take it to heart, because I just thought, man, like, you've got to be so miserable in your life that that's the comment that you want to put out to someone.
Yeah. No, you had it like so classy and so like just amazing that I think it helped others calm down, because obviously when someone attacks one of your own, your immediate reaction is to attack them back. At least that was my reaction when I saw it. Because I was mad. I was like, who is this?
Yeah, even my mom.
Yeah, I was just like, nah. I was like, this is not right. I'm going to try and then I was like trying to find like my friends who know people in IT.
Silly.
But then when you handled it the way you handled it, it helped simmer me down, because then I'm like, well, shit, if your reaction is that reaction and it was said about you, then who am I to, you know, carry on and you know, react the way that I'm reacting? Just like you said, it's up to you to be triggered or not. So when
how do you think you would have handled it if it was to you?
If it was to me, to be honest, I reckon I would have laughed.
Yeah.
If it was me, I would have laughed, because I'm used to. I think our like I said, our upbringing and our grandmother and our brothers and our cousins, they have taught us to have very thick skin.
Yeah.
That when others roast us, it doesn't even affect us. We're just like, you can't touch me.
I know. I was talking to one of our cousins, Fossa, and and we were like, yeah, man, like growing up with siblings, they like they prepared us for that. So like,
they really do.
And like, you know, nothing else can hurt as much as like, you know, because nothing even like is on the same level as our own siblings roasts.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And if they thought that comment was bad, they'd have no idea.
Yeah. I was like, thank you to our siblings.
Thank you for making me the person that I am today.
Thank you for teasing me and
making me cry.
I know.
Yeah. But that's what I'm saying, because I think for me personally, like I would have had the same reaction as you, because like I said, we've been brought up to, you know, take on way worse. But I think you would have been upset had it been me. You would have been like, what the hell?
Yeah.
That was because you reacted the way you reacted, it helped the rest of us be like, okay, well, she's got this. She doesn't need us to, you know, fight anyone. She's reacted the way she's reacted, and if like we have to respect how she reacted it and leave it at that. Yeah.
Well, like, had it been, like, and I'll be honest, if this was a comment that I received back in my 20s, that would have got to me. Like, that would have got to me for sure, because I was in a bad place at that time, and I was also very insecure. And I had low self-esteem at that time. Yeah. So if I had gotten that comment back then, 100% I would have been so like hurt, mad. I probably would have cried.
Yeah.
I probably would have tried to diet and then failed, and then eat again, and then cry again.
like what is it? Juice diet.
But because I don't know now, like because I had taken the time to do a lot of self-development and work on my mental health, so it really did not, but it made me laugh. Honestly, I really just wanted to respond and say, yes, it's a very strong day.
I paid a lot of money for this year. It's got great back support.
Has the cushions. Even the wheels are pretty steady too. Like, I had a lot, but unfortunately I couldn't even comment back to that person, but I think that was a good thing. So,
I think so too.
How has the experience changed you personally? I think you kind of talked about that in what were our learnings.
I think I wrote something down for this. Sorry, because
No, don't be sorry.
Where did it go? Oh, yeah. Okay, so it's actually true. So the question was, has it affected me personally?
Or changed you personally?
Yeah. I think if you can tell from the early episodes to now, I am so different from the girl that I was at the beginning. Yeah. I was very nervous, very shy, timid, which is not like me. I know it's not like me.
Yeah.
Whereas it seriously, this whole journey has unlocked a part of me that has been hidden away for too long. I hid it away for ages, and I didn't even realize I did. I was like, oh my gosh. So that now I'm at a place where I'm like, oh hell no, like I want to keep bringing this person out more, if that makes
Yeah.
sense. I was very like you said, you thought because I'm such an extrovert I'd be fine, but my confidence levels were makwa, like they were so
I know way. Yeah.
my confidence was just like not even, it's just you couldn't see it because I was very anxious and self-conscious, and did not like myself, did not love myself. So I was very, you could sort of see in the beginning episodes the type of person I was.
Yeah.
I haven't fully gotten to where I know I want to be, personally, but I know that it's a much stronger person than it was at the beginning.
Yeah.
I think that's how it's affected me or changed me personally. I'm very low with my tolerance now towards things that don't affect me.
Yeah.
If you remember, heaps of stuff would affect me. Like as soon as I get a call or a message, I'm already triggered.
Yeah. Yeah.
Whereas now I'm learning to sort of separate it. So it's not as, consistent and always in my head. It's just I need to sort of clear my head more and just focus on the important stuff first.
Yeah.
Prioritize the important stuff and then worry about whatever it is that I can control, and the stuff that I can't control, I need to let it go.
That's so good.
So you taught me a lot of that throughout the whole year, because I remember I would like vent to you and cry to you and be all up in your face about the same sort of problems, and you would give me the same advice. I think part of you was just like, is this girl even, like, why is she bothering asking me?
Is she listening to me?
What's the point? She's not even listening to me, so why should I even... So honestly, yeah, that's changed me a lot, where it's, I can only control what's within my control, and if I can't, then just let it go and be okay with it.
Yeah.
So I'm still learning. It's been a journey. Like this whole trip, I would never have imagined I'd be where I am right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Same. And I can see the confidence in you as well growing, like every week when I see you.
Yeah.
Or every fortnight when I see you.
Yeah.
And it's just, you're just like, it's gone from, and I don't mean this in an offensive way.
Oh yeah.
But you've gone from like, it's like a girl to a woman.
Yeah.
Like you really have, you've really grown, you've really matured, like your confidence level, it's very admirable.
Oh, guys.
For me, I think that just the constant pushing me out of my comfort zone of like, just being very antisocial, very to myself and not talking, you know what I mean? Even just like camera, being in front of the camera.
Yeah.
I hated that.
Yeah.
But yeah, just because I've been pushing myself to do all these things that I used to be scared of, now it's just it's like second nature in a way. But yeah, that's speaking skills as well. That's taught me heaps. Yeah, research.
Yeah. Nah, you
have my go-to websites now.
I even go to you now. I'm just like, hey, come, have you heard about this? And then you send me this long article, and I'm like, oh, okay, yep.
The other thing is with baby, like typing with my left hand or searching with my left hand. Like my left hand is like makwa useless like before, but now I think I've got it.
Like I've got this on lock. Okay.
The other thing, I forgot to mention this one in the learnings, but remember one of our and the feedback was, remember our very first feedback was we laughed too much.
Oh yes. Yeah. I remember that. I didn't even. And then we laughed at it. I remember us laughing at it. Like, well, yeah.
Yeah, but then when I went back and looked at our first episode, it is true though, because I noticed it as well, and I'm like, it is cringe. But we laughed. It is, because we're talking, and you know when like there's that gap, that quiet gap.
Yeah.
It's like, are you gonna say something or am I gonna say
Yeah.
something? And so we don't have anything to say, so we laugh. Yeah. I was like, oh.
I get the cringeness now. We fill up the time with just us laughing. Okay, yeah. That's fair. We did, yep.
Yeah. So now I it's like, even though I want to laugh, out of just like, I now sort of in my head assess it, whether is it like, you know, is it actually funny, or is
it
or are you just uncomfortable? So, like,
or is it a bit of both?
Yeah. But yeah, this has been an awesome experience. Like this 1 year of IndieFaith. I think we've gone from not knowing what we wanted to do with this to then now we're sort of like, we need to have these real talks. Like that built up when we started doing more episodes.
Yeah.
Because we started off doing like just fun episodes and that, and then afterwards we just found our niche.
Yeah.
And I think that's like the biggest thing that I've learned throughout this experience is like, how can we help our people more? And the real conversations that we need to have. And also, I think both of us in it, like regarding just saying what we believe, like saying, you know, having that real talk and just being straight up.
Yeah.
What is it? I keep forgetting. Savage swingers or something.
Swingers on ramp.
Raging swingers.
Yeah.
That, like, I think that's a real thing. Like,
it is. Like Rob was just joking, but now it's just like, it's our little inside joke.
Yeah, and it's become a thing. Like now with the real talk, we're just like, nah, like we need to have these conversations, and we don't have that fear anymore of what, like, you know, the consequences are. Yeah,
because I think that's what held us back a lot in the beginning was the fear.
Yeah.
The fear of being judged, the fear of being criticized, the fear of, you know, our family and friends not being happy with us and what we're talking about. But now we're at this, like from there to now, we're just like, well, it's only an opinion.
Yeah.
You can have yours, we can have ours. And if you don't like what we have to say, then that's fine.
Yeah.
But yeah.
100%. Like, and I think, you know, when we're, because I'm seeing this a lot where we're starting to head towards like a real PC culture.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, you know, you got to watch everything you say.
Yeah.
And and so with this experience, it's pushed us to be like, nah, we're not gonna just, you know, conform.
Yeah.
We need to like have these conversations. But yeah. And that was the year of IndieFaith Podcast. And we're on our second year now.
Oh, crazy.
I know. And it was like freaking crazy start too.
It was a crazy start. We did this when COVID first happened. It wasn't a lockdown at the time, but we were just like, let's just make use of our time.
No way. Like every anniversary will probably be a lockdown.
We're like all old and grey, and we're just like, hey,
can't see my family. I hope not, Fed.
I know. I hope it just doesn't extend too much longer, because like I don't think I can handle it. Nah,
me neither. Yeah. Hopefully next year we are face to face in the studio. All right, so that was it for our reflections of our 1 year IndieFaith experience. We'll move on to the next segment, which is Just Stroked.
Okay, okay, this one's on me. Okay, ready?
You got this, cuz.
Okay. Knock knock.
Oh, sorry. Who's there?
Control freak.
Control freak.
And now you say control freak who?
Huh?
I'll start again.
I don't know.
Did you get it?
Yes.
Oh. Okay, that was me.
Okay. Moving on to Our next segment, what's on your mind? Sorry.
No, sorry.
This one was just a random thought that I had. I didn't get this from anything. It was just random when I was holding my baby, and
Okay.
I was like, I asked Rob this question, and then it's just been like, oh, put it on your what's on your mind. So why do people love it? This is before the fat comment.
Oh my
Just for
gosh.
reference. Okay, so I was like, why do people love it when babies are fat and chunky, but they don't like it when adults are fat and chunky? Why? Do you know what I mean? They look at a baby and they're like, oh, I love fat babies. I love their rolls.
Oh, well,
You know what I mean?
I don't know. I'm trying to think of a reason that would make it.
No, I don't think there's an answer to it. I mean, that's the whole point of what's on your mind. But that was randomly on my mind when I was holding.
It's true, but
Yeah. When I was holding Logan, I'm like, oh, why do everyone love like fat babies and their rolls and like, but then they don't like adult rolls and
yeah, they're like put off by it and stuff.
I know, hey. Why is it cute then? Why isn't it cute now? Anyway, all right. So we'll move on to our main topic. So we would got a new spin to this one because of the hiatus that we had. So there's a few. It's a mix. We're mixing it up with story of the day. So both our segments in one, pretty much. So our main topic is stories of the month.
Yeah.
So there were just a lot of news that came through in that month off, and we wanted to talk about it, but we just weren't recording. So now we're just sort of we've put them all in the main topic, and
Yeah.
and the first one that was a big one was Jacinda Ardern's Ifoga.
Yeah.
That was big news everywhere, all over social media.
That was like the only thing I could see for that, like when it happened, it was all I could see all over my social media.
Yeah, same. So I'll give a brief rundown, and then we'll talk about how we feel about it. So just a bit of background. So for those that are not Samoan, what Ifoga means. So Ifoga, the word ifo means to bow down or to lower yourself. Ifoga is the Samoan custom of asking for forgiveness.
Yes.
So traditionally, the person that does the crime, they're covered in a fine mat from head, like covers the whole body in that fine mat. That's it's an atonement for their or their family's wrongdoing. It usually occurs in front of the victim's house or the victim's family's house, and so they're in the front yard. They're on the floor, and they're covered in the mat. And it's a public gesture in front of the whole village. So the village kind of acts like witnesses to the act of forgiveness. And yeah, that's pretty much. So they stay under that mat, and I'm not 100% sure if this is right or wrong, but I believe they stay under that mat until the victim or the victim's family is appeased, and then they can sort of come out of it. And then after that, there's a whole giving, gifts or something, or what do you call it? In the Fasamo way, where you give them their cans of bisupo and all that.
I forgot.
So they give it's like reparations. So you give stuff to the victim's family or the victim. Yeah. Sorry. I try to explain that in the most simplest way, but yeah. So that's what Ifoga is. So Jacinda, so she wanted to so the NZ government wanted to apologize for the dawn raids. I don't know what prompted this, but I'm thinking it's the dawn raids show or movie that's in the works or something like that.
Now soon.
Yeah. And so Jacinda decided to do so instead of just apologizing like, all world leaders via, or even if they do apologize.
Yeah.
Instead of just doing it, via media coverage and all that, she wanted to do it the traditional Samoan way, which is using the Ifoga.
Yeah.
So she did a modernized version of an Ifoga, and apologized to all the Pacific Islanders that suffered under the dawn raids. I think in that room they had some of the families that suffered during that time in the dawn raids. So they were also present in the room. And yeah, I didn't really watch the full video of the whole Ifoga. I also don't know who accepted the apology on behalf of all Pacific Islanders. But yeah, that was the process. You just see her with the map. So that, like, what are your thoughts on it? And do you think that Jacinda's Ifoga was widely accepted by Pacific Islander community?
My thoughts, I'm going to be completely honest. As soon as I saw that, I got emotional because you know how important and sacred an Ifoga is.
Mm-hmm.
Even though we don't know, the full extent and stuff because we're not raised in Samoa, we haven't been brought up with, the teachings and everything. We still know how super important and super significant an Ifoga is.
Yeah.
So when I had first seen it online, I was emotional because to stoop to that sort of level shows that, for me, that she actually cares. Because, the apology isn't just her saying, I'm sorry. It's her actually going not out of her way, but she's learning another culture's way of doing, making an apology.
Yeah.
And that was just me. Then your question about was it accepted? Yes and no. I saw a lot of people who felt the same as myself.
Mm-hmm.
Even families who had suffered, they were actually impacted and affected by the dawn raids.
Yeah.
You saw how emotional they were about it. Like I saw, family members post, their parents or their grandparents. And when they saw it, they just cried and, so I saw people who accepted it in that sense. And then I saw a whole bunch of people who were not happy at all about this. Some were actually really angry. Some were very, it's just a photo op. It's just her putting on this performance. So I think in life, you're either going to get people who accept it and then you're going to get people who don't accept it. So I think,
you can't please everyone.
Nah.
Yeah. But do you think the majority accepted it?
I'm going to be completely honest. The majority of what I saw on my social media were Islanders who were not happy.
Yeah.
I did see a handful of Islanders who were happy about it, who were accepting of it, who thought it was very, it was a very big thing for her to do. And they thought it was reciprocated. They were just like, well, I think that was a beautiful thing that she did.
Yeah.
Whereas the rest of it, I saw people who, influencers and other people, they didn't even have that up. So a lot of the times when people were posting about the Ifoga and, Jacinda Ardern, doing this, everyone else was posting the the series that's about to come out. So, the Dawn Raid series with the Polynesian Panthers. Yeah. That was the majority of people who, and for me, that was a clear sign for me that although she put this up, like she did this, she apologized, they didn't want to post it, which is fine because everyone has a right to do what they want. But they were more in, like that was a lot of the stuff I saw, was just, Polynesian Panthers everywhere, which is, I get it too. I understand why. But I don't think it was accepted by the majority of Pacific Islanders.
Yeah, true. I also, like, for me personally, I had I'm on the fence with it.
Yeah.
But I don't know why it was done the Samoan way.
Yeah.
When there were other Pacific Islanders as well that were affected by it. So that one I wasn't that was just my own sort of view when I saw it. I was like, why in Ifoga? Like, I don't know if Tongans do Ifongas as well. I don't know if, like, you know, all the other Pacific Islanders that were affected. I know majority of them were probably Samoan.
Yeah.
But it just sort of excluded a lot of the other, like, especially when you want to do an apology to Samoans, you know, via an Ifoga, you have Māoris that live there.
Yeah.
And, like, you know, it's like they haven't apologized for a lot of things that they've done.
Yeah.
To our Māori, like, you know, community.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was just my own question. It was beautiful. Like, I thought it was beautiful. I thought, like, it was beautiful in the sense that it showed her personal compassion and you know, how she felt about it. But, like, where I kind of understand what other, like, you know, where the majority of islanders are coming from is when they say she wasn't even born in that time.
Yeah.
And yes, she's the prime minister, but, like, where were the people, like, you know, the people that were a part of the dawn raids who were actually, you know, there, and enforced it? Where, like, you know, if any of them were still alive, because the victims are still alive, so are those people still alive? Can they do it? You know, shouldn't they be under those mats?
Yeah.
Because she, in a way, she's innocent. So, like, you know, I get that. Like, they all say, like, you know, love Jacinda, she's, you know, beautiful person, and, you know, thank you, we appreciate it from her. But the people that actually caused those pains are not there.
Yeah.
And I understand that she's doing it on behalf of the New Zealand government, but it's like, well, but those people, are they, you know, are they sorry?
Yeah.
Like, yeah. Yeah. There's like, even I know family members as well that are like, yeah, I don't think that was necessary.
Yeah.
But then a lot of people are saying that on social media as well. A lot of people on my social media were like, yeah, that was beautiful. They shared it. It was a nice gesture, and yeah, they all accepted it. But then what I find funny is that the people that were that didn't accept it, they got attacked.
Yeah.
They got attacked big time, but like, attacked without sort of understanding why they had that view. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, for me, like I said, personally, for, like, you know, Jacinda herself, like, nothing against her. We, you know, I accept her apology for whatever. And it was a beautiful gesture from her. But where are the people that actually were part of the whole Dawn Raids Act? They should have been the ones under that mat. Yeah. I mean, and also, like, I also read that some people also had issues with the Ifoga itself, because it wasn't the traditional Ifoga. Yeah. But I mean, what can you do? She you know what I mean? Like, she did say it's a modernized version of it. And she is, like, you know, trying to give us that respect to do it in a way that, you know, is important to us. Yeah. Yeah. But then there's also other people that say, that's fine, we accept the apology, but what are we going to do moving forward? Like, what, you know, so what do we get out of it? Yeah. Anyway, yeah. I think she announced that she's going to be funding for scholarships, and leadership assistance for youth. Yeah. But yeah, I think some people were like, it would also be nice if, they looked at, uh, maybe for the victims to sort of, or get rid of their overstayer, what do you call it?
Like status.
Status, yeah. But yeah,
Something to think about.
there's so many views on this, and it was just like for me, it popped up and I was like, whoa, like this is random. just seeing Jacinda under a fine mat, and I'm like, okay, why?
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. I like other people say it's like, just because this movie's come out now, they want to do this to sort of what do you call it? Cover, I don't know, like not like it's for media attention because this film's coming out.
Yeah, and it's to cover their bases kind of thing. Like
yeah. And sort of like, oh well, when the movie does come out and everybody's watched it and everybody's sort of like, gonna be, because they will be, for us that grew up after the Dawn Raids, we didn't know anything about it when we did the episode.
Yeah.
And so funny, there was nothing out at that time, and we had it we were talking about it in our episode. And then now everything is just about Dawn Raids.
Yeah.
But yeah, I forgot what I was going to say. Anyway, but I don't know. It's appreciated. It was her compassion and her willingness to apologize via, Ifoga. It was nice, but I did get emotional seeing it.
Yeah.
But then, what do the victims get anything out of it? Or, yeah.
No, it makes sense. I think everyone's just gonna have their own like thoughts about it and their own opinions, and which is fine. But yeah, I think my thing was I know I shouldn't compare, but like you don't see anyone else doing that. You know what I mean?
No.
As much as she's criticized and not really liked by certain people, I get it. But if anything, if you look at today's world leaders, no one gives a crap about anything.
Yeah.
And then
no one would apologize.
Yeah, and then you have someone who's trying to make a difference, trying to do something, and she still gets like, criticized and, said that it's just for, publicity and a photo op. And then it's just like, well, then what do you want?
Yeah.
Like, like we live here in Australia, and I think that's a lot of how, we did get a negative comment about you posted the video of our Dawn Raids episode. And then we got a negative comment from someone living in New Zealand who assumed that we were in New Zealand.
Yeah, I was actually going to bring that up as also a segue into our next topic.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, I don't think anybody is upset with Jacinda herself, because we all acknowledge that she's a unique world leader. Like she's no one else has done a lot of the things that she's done in her time as a prime minister.
Yeah.
And also no other world leader has shown as much compassion as she has. So like I think the respect towards Jacinda, I think majority of us are we see that and we respect that of her personally. But for with the Ifoga, I think it's just that there's those certain things that were missing. Was what about all the other Pacific Islanders, not just Samoans? And what about what about those people who actually were part of the Dawn Raids, who did enforce the Dawn Raids? Where are they?
Yeah.
And what what are the, like, for example, like with the traditional Ifoga, when the victim's appeased and then you do the whole gift giving thing, what do they get out of it? Like, what are they going to be compensated for, sort of thing? I think that's just what everybody sort of, the main things that they're upset about. But I don't think some of them maybe, yeah. I don't understand those people who attack Jacinda personally, but majority respect her, and appreciate, like, just everything that she's doing.
Yeah.
But it's just that part of it,
Yeah.
of the actual Ifoga. If you're going to do it Ifoga, like, then where are the actual people that committed the crime? Where are the what are there any compensations? And but yeah, since you brought up I wasn't sure whether I should bring that up actually, but
I wanted to bring it up because I wanted to bring it up.
Okay, so we posted up a Dawn Raid clip, and somebody commented on the clip on Instagram, and they said Jacinda's father was one of the police officers in the Dawn Raids, like father, like daughter, or something like that.
Yeah.
And then and they started like, I honestly, when I responded the first time, I didn't think it was gonna be a big thing.
Yeah.
All I said was, well, sounds like an interesting story. If you want to hear the rest of that story, as well as all our other stories of the month, tune in next week. Stay safe and see you in the next episode.